down workshop. God, these are coming in thick and fast. Another one. It was supposed to be. Let me get you out there. Stand. We were supposed to be doing that. The big heavy duty multi-tool strimmer bushwhacker chainsaw devicey thing. But it needs a new carb. I think it's underpowered when it's under load. There's no point in trying to fix these carbs. There's no point in trying to buy carb kits. You might as well just buy another carb. And they're cheap enough. Actually, for that one, it was £14.99 for the little strimmers, if you've seen the video on that. I think they're about £7 or £8 for the on next day. And the other ones, I had to wait nearly 2 weeks to get them. So they've got them in stock, and they almost absolutely look identical. So I'm hoping that's a quick fix. Needs its lines doing. Some other bits and bobs. I've got to get all the tools working as well, because I don't think they work particularly well. Anyway, right, back onto this. So as you can see, we're down to two. We've sold, one of them's down at the house, and we're using that. Though they might all be on a stay of execution. I think we'll probably end up keeping one, which I will probably keep this one, because that's our original one. But I do like these Kawasaki's, even though they're the more modern ones. But I think these are probably the better made ones, though. That one is one of the really, really old ones. I'm not sure what year it is. I'd have to go 80s, 90s on that. I think they're probably a better engineered machine. They've got an older Tecumseh in, I think. I think it's still a Tecumseh. But they've got a different carb setup, so I say you can tell. Same carburetor, different setting on there. They just the bearings and everything, they just seem a lot more well made, better quality metal. I mean, you can see the cutter on that looks like it's still new. It's still got all its paint on, which I can't say for any of the others, especially the Kawasaki's. All the paint's come off them. Anyway, right. So what's wrong with this one? So I did a little pre-test on all of these to find out what was wrong with them, and then wrote down. So the bowl's leaking. I think it was leaking through the drain-off valve. It's surging and it won't idle. So basically the carburetor needs cleaning. So I've got the ultrasonic warming up down in the office. So I think all we need to do is just get it fired up, get it running, do it a quick service, clean it all out, check the belts, because I think one of these has also got duff belts as well. So we'll get the cutter out, check the cutter, because this one's definitely going, so I've got to make sure it's all running well. So I think first thing we need to do is probably clean it off, and I'm not going to do it in here because I made a rate mistake with that last time. So let's, with that, just pause you. Hold on, I'm trying to steer camera. Right, on cue. It's pissing it down. Nearly forgot to put the microphone on. But this doesn't have the same problem that the Canon has. It will still record. Let me stick my phone somewhere where I can actually see what I'm previewing still. Yeah, it's annoying. This is though Insta, right? I'm in landscape. When I turn the phone like that, I'd like my preview to go in that. Can you sort that out? I'm using an Insta 361R, one of the original ones. Would more than happily try an X5 or something. I use them for my motorbike mainly and recording the course session. So Insta, if you are watching, I won't mind a demo or a freebie to play with, because at the moment I can't see any value in me upgrading. But if you send me a camera and I think it's worthwhile, I might do with that very much, because I have got all the Insta kit. Right then. Where were we? We were going to clean this off, weren't we? So let me just give it a quick sorry, just clouted you. On cue, it's raining as well. Let's get some of the big chunks off. Just watch your fingers in there, because they are sharp. See what I mean? That's just much nicer quality. Just looks better. These do need cleaning off. Like I said, we'll get all that sorted out when we get the box off. I just need to make sure it's clean. Yeah, it's mainly around the back I've seen some big clumps. Right, let's get the airline out. Apologies, because this is probably going to make a right row. So I hooked myself around the vise. Of course, you can't see any of that. So the weather's a bit changeable. Forecast thunderstorms today, so the poor old Ducati's been evicted. Do need to sort this lot out. The idea is when I get it, sorry about the compressor, the idea is when I get it all sorted out, when I'm filming, the bike can go down here and most of this stuff will be up here, and a lot of the stuff that's up here will be down there, so I haven't got to keep climbing over stuff. I can't just shove the bike down there because I need to get access to those two things. So mainly this stuff here, that stuff there will all be up here. The workbench will either be on that side or that side, probably that side. I just seem to naturally like that side. And then this crap will be down there, and it'll still be like this next year because we'll never get around to recreate what the problem is. So I have to familiar myself with the controls on this. So choke is that way, so that's choke on. We've given it a bit of thing. I don't think there's any switches on these. There's no fuel shut-off valves or anything on these. It's literally straight out of the tank and into there, which is part of the problem. And what we will probably do is put a fuel shut-off on that for exactly that reason, because we have had issues, particularly with this one, doing that. And let's see if we can get it to fire off. Oops. Not even wanted to start. Mind you, there might be no fuel in it. Quite possible. Yep, all the fuel's drained out. No fuel. I haven't got any carb cleaner either, so let's... I'm not sure what this is going to achieve, to be honest. I know it doesn't run. I can't even get in there. Right, so just assume it doesn't run. We need to get the carb off because that's got to go into the ultrasonic. And then I will, when I come up, I will bring some fuel up with me. I thought I'd got some actually. Hold on, what have we got in here? Yep, that's fuel actually. We have got some fuel. I'm not going to chuck the fuel in. There's no point, because I know why there's no point. The reason there's no fuel in there is because it's all leaked out. And it's all leaked out because the bowl on the bottom there is knackered. So, but we will go and take that down and fill it up, because that's my fuel tank for up here. So first things first, let's get this flipping thing off. Now I do remember these are really annoying to get off. So I'm going to be climbing over these lawnmowers all day. I think I might end up shifting these outside. Let's get the fuel line off first. I'll try and put tools away as we go today. Right. Get one of my cheap shit screwdrivers out, since I melted all the writing off the good ones yesterday. Oh, that's well petrified, that, and I thought we'd done this one as well. Oh, it's coming. Right, that's the fuel pipe off. Right, I seem to remember they're either a 10 or an 11, but you have to sort them out. And do we get lucky? Is it a 10? It is a, might be an 11, but you've got to spanner these off, unfortunately. Can you see up there? Try to get you a bit closer. Might zoom in on the editing if I remember. Probably not. So they're not even captive, these nuts. So there's a nut at the back that spins just to make life more interesting. But yeah, you can't get a socket on that one anyway, so you're still stuck with these. Drop that one on the floor, and then you usually drop this one down there so that you have to take this off, and that can be a right pig to get off. What I do need to do is I do need to take this cover off just to check the donut. So there's a drive donut in there, and I have had one of these that's disconnected itself. Right, let's go and get these in the bits box. Right, do we take that off now? Might as well. While we're here. Big posse. So there's a couple of Phillips, not posies, Phillips at the back here. So you'll notice this is almost identical to the other one. I think the only difference is the colour of the tank and the carburettor slightly different. I think pretty much everything else is identical. There might be some differences with the quality of the gearing, but I think they started cutting back on that in later models. I'm just going to work out where the other screws are now. I think they're behind the grass box. We've got to get behind the cutting blades, so we've got to get the cutting blades out anyway. So that's a 5 mil. I wonder whether we'll get the impact driver on it, but we'll give it a go. Where's it gone? There it is. See, in some of the later ones, the motor's on. I think the motor's in a different place, and no, the motor's in the same place, but there's a hole in here for a 5 mil Allen key. There isn't on these. Right. So, I think you have to remember with these screws in here, these are the ones with the locking washer on. So I think if you've seen on the other one, there's just, these are all the same, they're the same cassettes, so these cassettes run right the way through the range and they're completely compatible, but don't mix them up if you've got two, because these old ones are definitely better. Right, so that should come out. I nearly forgot, you've got to take this off as well. So I do need a 5 mil for that. Is that a 5? I think that's a 5. So I have seen some people cut slots in there. Don't do that. That's just not right. Just take these off. Because the good thing about it is you take them off too. You can inspect your belts while they're off. And always keep an eye on your belts. You don't want your trousers falling down. I'm pretty sure the other bolts, screws for that are behind there. So it's just 4 screws again. It's the same screw that's them, so don't get them mixed up. Pretty sure it is anyway. It was on the last one, but then somebody could have mixed them up. Problem is, because we've got 4 of these, it's trying to keep them all as they were. But I think we're going to go down to either 1 or 2. I think the wife wants to keep 2, which would probably be the 2 Kawasaki's, but I'd rather keep the original Tecumseh we had, because those Tecumseh engines just go forever. Right, so that's the side off. Now one of these we replaced the belts on one of them, but one of the belts I couldn't get a replacement for, so I do need to. It looks like this is the one we've done, so that's fine. I think it's our Tecumseh that's the problem one. So these look fine. They're not. They do look like the new belts. Just spin it backwards a bit. No, that's fine. There's no cracks or anything in there. So this is one of the ones I've replaced the belts on already. There's 2 belts. One of them's easy to find, the other one's not. But I did look the other day, and it looks like it might be easier to get the missing belt now. But I did get all the measurements and bought some. So there you go. Last 2 screws. Quick inspection inside there as well. It looks, we still ended up with a load of grass in here. Looks pretty good in here, and no sign of any corrosion or anything. Again, it's the later models that suffered with the corrosion. Chassis on these are pretty well painted, pretty good quality metal. Off you come. There we go. It's a bit of an angle to get it off. Last oil change was in 2021. So this is the donut I was on about, and I think it was this one that slid. So that can slide back, and then the donut fails. But I replaced the donut on this one. It's just an anti-vibration donut. There you go. All good. Big pile of grass in there. Don't want that. Right, we'll change the oil when we get it running now. But other than that, I think that's as far as we can go with this one. Not a lot to do, thankfully. We'll take that off. We do have some. I do need to check all the cables and everything is set up, because I think we'd had some issues with one of them, and they probably want tie wrapping up just to make them a bit tidier. I think we were missing one of those, so normally just tie wrap them a bit better, just keep them a bit tidier. Ugh. Right, let's tear into this carb. Breathe in, Tubby. Yeah, it doesn't give the best angles when I'm relaxed. Oh, it's kicking. How do you get that off? So I'm guessing this must come out. Yeah, a little one. That's the smallest. That goes down to a 9. I don't think that's going to be small enough. What are we on? 7. 7. 7. Let's try a 7. I've got a funny feeling a 7's the right way to go. No, it was a 6. See, 6 was the obvious one. So 6mm. It might not be, because these are flipping Americans. Quarter-inch. That was loose. There's somebody at the garage. Right. Right, let's have a look what's going on in here. That's that'll be a, yep, that'll be a 1/2 inch. That's where it's leaking from. So that thing there is where I think it was leaking from. So there'll be some muck trap behind there. Another 1/2 inch. Was it 7/16? Yeah, 7/16. Oh, flipping heck. Right, so put these in there. Obligatory whacking it with a screwdriver because that's what everybody does. Yeah, you can see there's a bit of muck in there. The rubber seal on there is really crusty. Right, let's just take the retainer off this out of the way. If I can get it. Come on. This is going to be an absolute pig to get back on. There we go. Alright, that's the bit I want to have a look at. Yeah, it's very dirty, but it's also very crusty as well. So we might be looking at a new carb kit for this. Yeah, the little rubber seal pad thing. It's seen better days, so I think we need I think we do need a carb kit for this one. So this might end up being a 2-part video. Bowl's fairly filthy as well. Won't run and surges, so that's pretty much the idle circuit on these. So now these carburetors, it is worth trying to get a rebuild kit for them. Now I might have one. That looks okay. Again, I've said before, just watch the shoulders on these, because if you don't, if you're not careful, you'll end up galling the threads, because it's threaded all the way to the end. So that's your main jet. Now the main jet on these also includes your emulsion tube. So that looks, yeah, that looks clear. So if you've got any blockages, it'll be in the idle jet, which I am not sure where that is on here, unless that's it there. No, that's the mixture screw, but so we will go 1/2, 1 and 1/8 on that. Appear to have something rammed in there. I'm not entirely sure what. That doesn't look standard. That looks like I might have taken something to pieces. I should have done last time I took this to pieces. I'm trying to find the idle jet. I suspect the idle jet's that one down there. The idle circuit. I can't see anything else on these. You can buy new carburetors. I think I bought a new carburetor for the other one, but I would like to try and keep these. Right, I can't get that out. There's no screw fastening for that. I'm interested in what I did with that, whether I just rammed it in there to block a hole up or what. But curiosity is getting the better of me. Not that one, it won't. Because I might have glued it in. I've probably threaded it. Could be leaking around there though, that's quite possible. That's definitely one of my motorbike screws. Or did we just lose something and I've screwed that in? Because that's definitely threaded. Or somebody else has done it, because this wasn't ours originally. I haven't got any carb cleaner to shoot down there, which is right annoying. Well, we're getting flow. Alright. I think we've got this to pieces as much as we can. I do need to try and get this bowl gasket out, because if that goes in the ultrasonic it won't do it any good. Alright. Okie dokie. I think I'm going to leave that out for the time being, and then just hopefully I'll remember to put it back in. Just quick visual inspection of the choke plate. That looks good. Throttle plate looks good. It's got a nice snap. So I think that lot can go in the ultrasonic. What I will do is I'll have a quick look in there and see if I've got what's left of a rebuild kit. Right, almost up to temperature. I think we're just going to use some standard washing up liquid. Plenty of it. We'll see how that goes. Warm. Don't want the seal in there. Obligatory float. And then we've got a whole load of little bits that I need to try and chuck into one of my tea strainers. There'll be 2 tea strainers have broken, so just bear with me. That's it, we're all in. Let's set her going. How long shall we have? We're on for 20 minutes. Oh, look at the Mower. I think I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up, and then I'm going to take it down and get some soapy water on it and clean it all off and clean it all up a bit, and then we'll see. I know normally you'd run these to get the oil warm, but to be honest, there's not a lot of point. Is that a 1/2 inch or a 3/4? I don't think I've got anything that'll do it anyway. Is there a shot? That's a smaller one. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a hack, but it's not a bit of a hack, to be honest. So it just gives you better access if you use a socket extension. Just don't put the spanner on the bit with the bowls, and turn it in the right direction. So it shouldn't be difficult to get these off, to be honest. I mean, you could use a 12-star. Oh, it looks fairly clean. Don't think it's done many miles since we last did it. There's a little bit of coloration coming through now. But we've not been using these a great deal in the last 2 years. I've been using that other lawnmower. Right, so we've got some of the good stuff in here, the expensive stuff that needs using up. Still not got a funnel. That reminds me, I do need to order a carb kit and a funnel. I was trying to work out whether I've got anything to make a seal for the bottom of that thing, and I'm not even sure if you get one in the carb kit. Some of the new carbs don't even have a drain on the bottom. Like I said, I'm not too concerned if we don't get all the oil out, or it's not been churned up recently, because the oil's fairly clean, and we haven't done a great deal with these, mainly because they were surging and I couldn't be asked to sort them out. Right, let's just stop you and sit there watching the oil. Back in the room. What did I do with that? I was down here. Right, it's finished leaking its guts all over the place now. Just had a quick look for the carb kits. I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'm going to try and make a new flat out of a piece of inner tube. Let's see if that does it. Hopefully that seals. Should do. It's got enough flipping glue on it. Put away. We look very tidy, aren't we? There's that bulky thing. Right. What we're going to do next? Yeah, oh, that's it. We need to clean it up. So we'll try and give it a hand, a helping hand as much as we can. I haven't got the car clean, but we've got some of this. Let's move the oil out of the way before I trip over it, like we did last week. Then we'll have to make a trip to the oil recyclers as well. My oil collection tray's getting a bit full. You can see that oil's quite good. There's no glitter in it at all. It's still fairly clear. It doesn't look like it's got hot. It's up and then you dribble all over the floor over there, because that just makes life really interesting. We'll stick some more oil in it now before I forget. Glug, glug, glug. Where are you? Oil. No, definitely. Still no. No, that's filthy. Ah, there we go. Because I'd never think of hiding it there. At least that one actually fills in the hole a bit better. Right. Please don't fall out. These are quite good. You can just literally fill them up to the, I think you, not when you have a dipstick, I think you fill them up to the, oh no, I could be wrong. Oh, that looks like it's about full. That was a good guess. Quick wipe off. I thought they were like the other ones, you fill them up until they get to the bottom of the thread, but that's the Honda clones I'm thinking of. Hondas. I've not had many of them in for a while. It's mainly Jerry's generators. Yeah, that's fine. Need to order some funnels. That's it. Put this away. And let's give this a quick. Really losing the pressure that quick. There we go. Scrub-a-dub-dub brush. We can use that one. there's no weight at the front of the moment because the grass box isn't in. We could do with chucking that in and putting that over. So I'll just give that a quick wipe out under there. Shitty clip out. Give this a quick wipe out under there, and then go and put that on. I was going to take it down and hose pipe it, but when I hose pipe it, our next door neighbours are sat in their garden. I don't think they'll thank me for that. I think I need to, it's coming off nicely. It's a million times better already. Right. You've got to be careful with this one, you've got to get that clip under there. It's a bit of a fiddle, there we go. In. Right, let's find my screws. One, two, three, four. There it is, found it. Less silly faces today because I've got my varifocals on. I've just got my blind reading glasses. You do need to make sure you get these done up quick, nice and tight. I don't think they've got any thread locker on them, they probably should have. While I was fighting it, it was stuck on the it's the only bit of chip and rust I found there, and I suspect that's a nick at a bang it's had. Spin her around. Look at that, I knew. Still not found a date code or anything on this. There's something at the bottom. Give me a clue. $1997, there you go. Told you it was 90s. What we will do is we'll get that off and replace that hose now. And stick some, make up a new piece. The hose we need to replace, and we're going to replace it with one stop, one fuel filter. Fuel filter should have a direction of travel on. Right. So we need a piece roughly about that long. But obviously we're going to be sticking 2 units in it as well, so we'll cut it back to that. I think this is one I made up and then didn't end up using. I have got a pair, actually, I have got a pair of proper compass. For some reason I thought they were down in the house, but they aren't, they're here. Not quite as good as they used to be, but okay. There we go. Here's one, the other one. Let's have your clips. So we'll have we're going to need to cut it again at least another few times. We've got a better big shears. So that's flowing that way. We need 60 million. Yeah, so one of these old lawnmowers didn't have shut-offs, and they also didn't have filters either. So fuel's flowing that way as well. So we need another one of them. Let's steal some of these. May or may not fit. Feels secure. And then we need another section for the top to go out the bottom of the. That's not the worst bit of cutting I've ever seen. It's a little bit better. Nice if they did an integrated unit. It was a fuel shut off, and so you don't have to daisy chain all this together like that. So I think I'm going to swap these around. Feels a little loose, that one, and that's not much better. Right. So we need a piece that is yay long. Yay. I think we've run out of clips now. Well, we haven't got that one there, but it looks particularly scabby. This might be for the next size down fuel line, but yep, it is. put that one on the bottom. And we'll get another one of these tighty ones out for the bit that's going on. Which way's the flow now? Flow's down. Just so it grips onto this nice and tightly. Good, good. Right. We'll steal that one for the top. We'll leave that one in at the bottom. Actually, that is too loose. Another one of these. Another one of these. And there we go. That's a good one. Right, so we can stick. Hopefully it fits. Looks about right. Get my clamp squeezer. That's it, and then that should go up there nicely. Right, cool. Let's give this a quick scrape off. Some tools away. Have we got a scraper? We should have somewhere. Oh, perfect. We did press go. Just had to solve the thing, we didn't press go then. This one's not too bad because I think it was used for scallifying. It's generally the scallifying that causes all the problems. I think it does need slackening off though. Let's see how we get it on in. That's it. Let's get them screws in and get that side cover on. Let me use the ones that have got the two spring clips on. And make sure you put it in the right hole as well. Always make sure you get it in the right hole. I don't know if you haven't. Somebody at the front door. the Amazon man with my bits. There we go. Right. Bear with me while I get me on. Right, let's get this side on. I just had a quick clean up because I was paddling in grass. Let some heating out as well. My wife's just spotted one of the lawn mowers has got a big chunk missing out of it down there where it's been run around the wall regularly. So we must have a look, see if we can get a spare end cap. Why does that feel like it's not going on? What's going on? It's unfeasibly smooth bolts. So only half the stuff I ordered's turned up. Unfortunately, I've got the carb spray, which doesn't really help because I needed a carb. The carb hasn't arrived. So a bit miffed off with that. I have to go and have a look and see, check the order, what it says on that. Right, it's knocked off. I'm just going to see if it's cooked. It certainly looks grubby. Let's see if it's any cleaner. Like I said, I think what I'm going to do is looks a lot cleaner. So actually, it's worked quite well. That washing up liquid, yeah, float balls, clear them up. We'll give that a quick wipe out. And we've got all the little bits and bobs, which I will decant into here as we speak. I need to order one of the, I keep saying that, I need to order some bigger ones of these, and some of the aren't broken. Right, let's move. The picture seems really clear. Right, you chuck it in there, ready to clean over here. Chuck them in there, sling that in there, get this out over here. Ugh. Does actually need a bit of oil on it, that. So you want to oily filters, but not massively, because otherwise it becomes a restriction. And I've got it all over my hands. Dirty, dirty boy. I've just had a quick look. The carburettor is now saying it's not coming for another 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks to get the other lawnmowers done. We're in no rush for that one. I was thinking about cancelling the order, but then I was just like, you know what, I can't be bothered. I'll just leave it. So anyway, right. That's come back, still warm. That's come back. That's come back. That's come back. That. Right. First things first. Right, so we don't lose anything. Let's start putting some stuff back together. We've got some carb cleaner. Smashing lid. Thanks, Amazon. Actually, let's recover the lid off that, because I do tend to break them lids. Right, so all we want to do is just check this is good. Yeah, that's all good. So that can go in there. Let's just stand that in front of that so you can't see it. hand's in the way so you can't see it. Right, what next? Let's put the float on last. Hurry up. The irony. The War Office phoning me up to ask me what setting the washing machine goes on. That's made me chuckle. Letting her off today though, she's just found a 32 meg card. So even though I've just ordered a load of 32 meg cards, it turns out she's got one in a drawer. But most people's wives don't have 32 meg SD cards in their drawers. Who knows? Right. So we need to come up with a solution for this, because this rubber's gone. Well, actually, it's gone squidgy again now, but it is fairly perished. So I think we need to come up with a fix for that. And I'm trying to think about what I've got. I do have some rubber grommety bits. So I could slice. We could slice the top off one of those, or we could use a bit of inner tube. Let's go with this one first. The only thing I'm conscious of is I'll probably need a sharper knife. Oh no, that's gone straight through. See if we can just trim it down a bit. It's the bottom edge there that needs to seal, and that looks a fairly decent surface. So would have been nicer if we could use this, but I don't think we'll get it smooth enough. Yeah, it's got a moulding mark on it as well. Be careful I don't cut through it as well. Right. Now I need to find something to punch a hole in. I've got to punch a hole, not drill a hole. So I need something that's kind of thin, tubular, kind of thingy. It's made a right mess there. I might have to drill it. I didn't want to drill it. No, they'll not do. Right, bear with me while I go and have a think, and I resorted to brute force in the end. I just shoved a microfile through it. Just need to be able to get it over that, and then hopefully the rubber's smooth enough on the back, which it looks like it might be, to create a decent seal on there. Do need to make sure that we've got all the crap out of that, because it rather still feels a bit dusty in there. Cleaned up that really nice though. Washing up liquid, that's the way to go. It won't get manky as well either. Doesn't cost a fortune. That's really clean. Right. Got to remember with these that shoulder there has to go to the back, but we're not ready for that yet anyway. Not yet. Got a feeling this is going to be uber fiddly. There's probably a couple of different ways I could do this. I think because that has to sit over the top of that. Oh, nearly had it. Come on. Easier to get on than to get off, as it happens. Right. I think the best way to test this is to fill it full of fuel. See if it leaks. Ha ha! Cracked it. There you go. So you can make yourself a new rubber. Shove that in there. So remember that needs to be sat in line with the bowl. And hopefully the bowl seal still works. And that little seal there. Just checking there's no holes in that one, because some of these have a hole in, and it feeds through a hole into the jet pickup, but the hole must be on the other part of it. Don't over tighten them, you're just tightening it against that, so hopefully that will work. So this wants to go all the way in and then back out 1 1/8. Usually they're about 1 1/4. So that's half. 1 1/8. And we'll put that back in. We'll put a bit of thread lock on that. If I can find it. Actually, we'll use this. I think this might be a better solution for it. If it's cool. Hopefully that worked. So we missed all that. I don't know why. I don't know what you last saw anyway. Right, carburetor's on. You missed some fun and games. I forgot to hook the throttle up with it and then had to take it all back off again. We just cleaned up, screwed it back on, and got the put the pipes in. I've just come to fill it up with fuel and found out that that's not what I thought it was. That's actually dirty fuel I've been using to clean some stuff. So I've got to go and find some fuel. Just tip it this way so you can see exactly how much I'm throwing on the floor. Just sloshes. That's more than enough. Petrol valve is on, I believe. So we should be seeing something going into the that's a good colour. Not. Right. What have I done with the lid? Oh, it's there. Yeah, them lids aren't brilliant either. Right. Shall we see? Choke on. It's going to take a while for the bulb to fill up, so we'll just have a quick tickle, see if it is. Yeah. Oh, there's a fair bit of oil in that thing. That's going to smoke like buggeries when it does start. But we've got fuel going down there, and it's going through a filter, so I'm not too concerned. Not really. It's almost going. Give it some more. Come on. There we go. It's not idling. I suspect we've still got a problem with the idle circuit. That's interesting, because obviously we've wound that back in. So what could that be? It's been through the ultrasonic. I mean, I can chuck it through the ultrasonic again, but it's like that. We just go and get another carburettor, because that's the problem with these. You can't clean the idle circuit. So if it's surging, it's normally because it's running too lean. So we can back out the screw a bit. Like I said, normally about 1.5 is what these normally go to. I think that's done it. The idle down a little bit lower. Don't really matter for a lawnmower because you don't idle up for that long. They generally just don't fall over without. I just messed around with the mixture. I think what I thought was the mixture, it isn't it to me. That is the idle jet. that's running okay. I am still leaking at the bottom of this though, which is a little bit annoying. It's only a very small amount while we're running it, but it is dripping very slowly. So I'm deciding what to do about that. I mean, it might sort itself out as it beds in. You know, if I spin that round a bit, it might help. See if it stops it. Give it a chance to bed in. And I could always go to the other method, which was going to be to run it, but that's running a lot clearer now. Seem to have got rid of all the crappy fuel out of it. Just run it out, because that might be it as well. It might have just got some muck out of the fuel line underneath it. That's it. I think that's a bit better now. Just watching what it does. Yeah, it's fine. I think it's when it's vibrating, it's just not quite sealing. It's definitely dripping. So I think we've got a problem with that, which is annoying because that's about the only part you can't buy. So I thought we'd got a spare carburettor actually, so I could have stolen the bowl of it, but I don't know where it is. I suspect I've thrown it out, or it's in the bottom of one of those boxes. So we might go and have a dig now. I'm just going to shut this off and I'm going to put it outside so I don't stink myself out. Right, it's that unflattering belly shot again. Right, let's whip them off. So I've ripped it off. We've had a bit of a tidy up in here actually. I've been to the tip and got rid of a whole ton of stuff which I've needed to do for ages, and I've just tipped shitty fuel all over the place. And there's still a lot of crap in the bottom of that, weirdly, because when it was draining through, it was draining through as clear, but I think the stuff with the oil in was heavier and was hanging around at the bottom. So it could be that we have picked up some crap, but I'm looking at that and thinking that's not worked very well. The trouble is I've got to try and get this off again now. That wasn't the easiest thing. Because it was uber pain up the butt. Could be a better way of doing this. Come on, just get off. No, you swine. I had you then. Come on, go, go. Get a perky thing. Come on, you're nearly there. That's it. God, that's a faff. I'm disappointed that didn't work, because I think that was shaping up to be a good solution, but a bit of a shame. Right, one thing I haven't tried is actually put an O-ring on it. So we do have an O-ring kit. It's whether or not we've got an O-ring. Oh, that's not an O-ring kit. It's a grommet kit. I've got an O-ring kit. Actually, I've got some O-rings kicking around on the side that I found that were from a carb rebuild kit that weirdly came with a carb. And then it turns out that the carb rebuild kit didn't fit what I wanted it to fit anyway. Right, let's have a look, see if we've got anything small enough in here. I don't think we have. I think everything's a little bit too big. Some of them have got mullered because they've got fallen in. No, I think everything in here is just too big. Right. There's definitely nothing on there. probably something in one of the fork rebuild kits, but now somewhere on here, buried amongst all this lot, are actually some parts out of a rebuild kit, which I appear to have lost somehow. Literally only just out here. So these have got these tiny little O-rings on. And I'm wondering whether these tiny little O-rings are actually enough to seal that. They're actually at the bottom of the seat. So if you see that sits on there, I think that might be enough to seal it. We have one other option after this, and if this doesn't work, well, there's kind of two options. One of them is I put a screw in there with a thing and try and just block it off using that bit of rubber and just clamp down on it and do away with this altogether, which is it's a bit of a bodge. But the other option is just under my arm, you might be able to see there's a carburetor. So that is a Tecumseh clone carburetor, though you'll notice it's not very cloned. Now the orifices are, I think, the same. We'd have to measure that, but I think they are, using my accurate measuring device. Yeah, near enough. Might be slightly bigger. Anywho, let's see if we can get this to work. Last chance saloon. I mean, it could, for all I know, it could have been pouring out of there. Oh, we've lost the bolt. It's because I started scattering stuff looking for the it isn't. I've actually put it in the pot. Right, so we'll give this a go. If this doesn't work and it does leak again, then we'll whip this off and we'll stick this on, because I'm pretty sure that it will do. It's a little bit more adjustable. You can adjust the idle circuit and you can adjust the main jet as well. So you can jet it for the bigger orifice if it is bigger. Not entirely sure. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about is it should be okay. It's almost in the same place. So that's probably a carburetor off a later model, probably similar to the one I'm going to be keeping. But we'll stick this one on and see where it. Carburetor's back on. Oh, dry as a bone. That's interesting. Right, let's see if it starts up. Still not high. Oh, no, it's because I shut it off. It's not quite warm enough yet. Better as it gets warmer. a little bit more tweak. I think we've cracked it. Let's just see if we've got any. Nope, that's bone dry. We've nailed it. Right, that's good. So we can get some vids of this one running and send this one on its way. That's good news. Right, I'm going to find a bit of grass and stick the camera up and we'll go and take some pictures of it. Right, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if this will work. I'm keeping this one. I'm pretty sure that's the same carb that's on the other one. The carbs were slightly different, and I don't think this would have worked on here because the throttle hole there, I would have had to drill it out because that's the hole that it would go into there. The other thing that's possibly causing a little bit of the surging on this as well is that there's no jangle spring or tension spring that keeps it on, but the holes are there for it on this. So you know, that's possibly it. Anyway, I don't know why that's like that. Maybe because I wound it round. Anyway, yeah, I'm not too bothered about that. You don't need the spring on there. Right, so I think we can call that one there. That's been a bit of a mammoth one. Just got to put the bar back on, stick the box back on, give it a quick wipe down again, and then get it listed and get it out the door. So it's cleaned up pretty nice actually. It's a decent machine, and it will be a lot better for having the filter on. Just remember to shut that off. Right, let's leave it there. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Usual gubbins and guff. Over 250 now. Thank you everybody that's subscribed.